recording.
What we're going to talk about is the wood punch. And it's called the wood punch because it uses a wood movement and attaches a punch to it rather than just a palm attack. So the angles are slightly different. But the basis is the wood movement. So I want to go over the wood movement again to explain why the wood punch is the way it is, rather than the standard punch, which is a slight variation of a normal punch anyway. What we're doing with the wood movement is it's a growth type of movement. We're expanding. And then the attack is on this direction. The wood movement itself, we want to go from a stance when we practice it, or the feet in, and we're bringing this up. But we're not just bringing arms up. That's a big key to it. I'll just talk to you like I'm teaching to see again. Okay? What we have is, we want to get the body behind it. We actually want to move the energy from the tendons about 3 inches below your belly button. Move it up to the arms and then throw it out. Now we also want to have this, when we're doing the wood movement, especially when we're practicing it and when we use it, we can use it with 2 hands or 1 hand. When we do it with 2 hands, we're not going to cross our center line. When we use 1 hand, we're not going to cross our center line. But it may look like it because we're going to move our hip. Movement wants to come from the hip. Now, when we're doing this, we want to get in a stance where we have about shoulder width, and these are pointing inward. And we want this bent to be a spring motion. When we're doing the wood movement, we want to load the spring as we get into it. So we put our legs down, and this starts up to about 45. So our arms go up 45. As we're doing that now, the body goes up and raises the energy up to here into this part of our arm, not up to here. So when we go up, we don't want this stiff. We don't want this straight. We're actually going to use a motion like this with our hand, where we have a fluid movement. We also want to, when we're striking with it, we want to have a cupped hand rather than a flat hand. When we're coming up, we load it, come up, come back, and strike. So it's not just up like this and out like that. We're actually rolling it like a wave. So it's really like throwing a whip. The energy comes up to here, and then we throw the energy out. Now when we're using both hands, we're going to bring this up through the center and cover both our opponent's shoulders, because to get an attack toward us, he has to go from here to our center line, and from here to our center line. So when he's coming in, when I come up like this, I have my entire front covered with that. I intercept it, and then I throw the attack out. Now if I want to use this hand against that side, I don't want to cross myself like that. When I do that, I've crossed my center line and made this weak. What I want to do, whether I do this or this, the hand and the motion is the same amount of time to execute. But what happens is the waist turns for these. So I've added is a waist movement to recenter, so my arm is against his arm, so my body is against his arm. On that side. So if he's coming in this way, here, I can come up like this and come down. And the other side is the same way. If I want to come up here and down. Now maybe as he comes in with that, I just come up here and come down. Okay? But again, what I'm doing is doing this type of motion. We practice it to throw the energy out about 45 degrees this way. When we use it, we may be throwing it out that way. Now another thing we have to be careful about when we're doing this, we're coming up with this, we don't want this flat. We want this 45. That's very important for the body dynamics. Using our body muscles in the right way. Also, when we come up here, when I'm going to come up, if I just came straight up, he could force it down. He could do his own wood movement. He could do the last half of it and slam down on my upward movement. I've intercepted him. He could just jerk it down. Okay, go ahead, jerk. So I don't want to just come up. I'm going to come up and back. This is, again, I'm forcing him to go down, to yang me downward, and I'm going to take him this way. Okay, it's the same thing. Come down, that type of movement throws his energy off from being able to sink me. If I just fight upward, if he's got a higher body mass up here than I do, he's going to win. But if I get him to come down on this, like that, but I'm rotating this way, I'm pulling him out this way when he's trying to go that way. He can't stop me from pulling him slightly this way. Now I don't have to pull him all the way off, just enough there so that I can come back in. He's going to go that way as I'm going that way. So again, it's going to be hard for him to stop. Okay? So what we're looking at on the wood movement is coming up and throwing it out. And we want this type of movement with the wrist being flexible, because the energy starts up here until I throw it, and then I throw it through my palm. Okay? And I could be actually hitting with this palm knuckle on targets. When I come up, I can be hitting here, I can be hitting here, I can be hitting here. I can be hitting on his chest on different points. I can just be hitting on his arm. The basic wood movement is, the key to it is, one, load the legs so that you use the entire body for it. Motion should come from the waist, because I want the energy from down here coming out and throw it then. That's the basic wood movement. There are variations on that. When we come up here, we could just be coming back this way and then down. This is a motion that I will use when somebody has a weapon in their arm. Rather than trying to slam down like this and have the possibility of getting cut here, I'd rather get cut on this side. So if I see any weapon, or if I see a big one of these big bracelets that has little spikes on it and that, I don't want to slam down on that with my forearm or even my palm. I want to take it with the back of my hand. I can survive that a lot easier than this. Okay? So that variation here, I can use this. I can also use these three knuckles to attack points on his arm. So I need to attack this in here with those knuckles into a point in here. I can actually attack up in here on his bicep or to the outside in here. Or if I'm using this hand on this side, rather than being over here, if I came up here, I can slap that down like that and hit 3 points in here with this. And with that turn, I'll be hitting in the right direction because the body turn is going to slam it this way, which is the angle you need to hit those points on the lung at the top here. If it's here and I'm hitting the large intestine, I can again hit point here with one of these knuckles, it'll numb his hand and make this hand looser. Open his hand up a little bit. Now, the other variation on the wood movement is covered here. It doesn't have much to do with wood punch, but the other variation is when we come up and we're going to come down like this. This is an archer type configuration of this, but instead of blocking with an archer block or a high block, archer block, which we use in the fire movement, we're going to slam down with this. And this is again used mainly for trap. We're going to trap one of his arms. So it could be this side, and I come up and slam down this way, or it could be this one, I've come up and slam down this way. And now I clear and hit, or hit with one of these. So those are the variations. I'm going to come up and hit this way, I'm going to come up, I can hit this way, I can come up and trap this way. This could also be a hit if I have bend them over with a technique and then slam down on top of his body. It is bent over. I could use it for that. It's also possible to use this on a leg as it comes up. So if I come here and he's kicking, I can slam down on his leg. And that angle is the proper angle to do that. I will be hitting points on his leg with this palm while I'm doing that. And I'll turn slightly like this, so his energy goes that way. I redirect it from my center line to that side. Now, this is all prelude to the wood punch. I call it wood punch because I'm using the wood movement, but instead of using a palm strike, I'm going to use a punch. We're going to use a 45 palm up punch for this. We're going to use the major knuckle and the two smaller knuckles to back it up. We don't want to punch with all three in our execution. That's the only way I think about punching full with three knuckles. We're actually punching with one knuckle and backing up with the other two. So you want the center energy going through that single knuckle. I don't want to do it where I'm trying to muscle it in. We want to throw energy. And to throw energy again, we want to be able to do a rolling movement to throw the energy. And the second part that we're going to do is we're going to use our hip to, when we roll back, when we come up center like this, to intercept, I'm going to roll back with one arm in a wood movement. The other one's going to turn into a water movement. The water movement goes out and back, accelerates out and accelerates back. So actually doing two movements here. So what we're going to do with the wood punch is we're going to do a wood movement and throw it in. When we practice it, another thing we're going to do is go to what is called a 30-70 stance, which means 30% of the weight on one leg, 70% on the other. Because we're a power punch, the 70% is going to be on the punching side. This is key too, is that we don't want to lean to the side, we want to turn our punch into our object. So when we punch it, I'm not going to punch straight into them. I'm actually going to be to the side and punch at a 45-degree angle into my targets. This also allows me, so when I do the punch, I don't punch towards my center. I'm actually punching out here, 45 to this, chest. This is a strong point. When you lift weights, you do it out here, you don't do it in here. This is much weaker than doing it out here. So when we punch it, we're going to turn on our center, and because we're using our hip back, it also forces us forward. Which means if I'm like this in the center, let's go a 45 here so I can see your center. I can control his body with this coming out. When I have two hands on both sides of the center line, because I have to cover both of those. But if I'm doing one hand, I can cover both his arms with one arm. And again, it depends on how far I turn. I don't have to turn more than 45 degrees. I actually only have to clear his shoulder. And I can take care of that arm. And when I turn, I'm taking care of that arm because it just takes a little turn to intercept it. So when I come up, I start the wood movement. I could intercept him here, or if I have gone faster than he has, I can pull back with this, but I don't want to pull back all forward like this, do a John Wayne type punch, because my energy from here is going this way. I'm trying to throw energy here, but pull it back. But I want a rolling motion. So my energy comes up and throws. Now when I pull it up, the hip is going to go back and then forward. But instead of using a palm, I'll use a punch. Okay? And it's not going to be here, it's going to be there. Or there. Or down here, going in there. But the rolling motion comes through there. I'm going through him, 45 to the center of his head. The motion in the hip is just here and here. The hand stays out here. I'm really not pulling this back. What happens, the hip pulls this, and that pulls this arm. So when I hit here, this now is lined up with this. If I was kept this straight, you can see how my arm is way out here, way out 45. But because I'm turning my hip in here, I have my hip and my leg lined up with this punch. Okay? Now, the interception. If he's coming in, start with a hand like that, and you're going to punch him with that. Here, I intercept that and that, but this, I don't want to come back here, because you see how the timing is off. He's already here, and I'm over here, because I've tried to do a karate pec movement. Okay? Coming all the way to hip, I'm pulling my energy this way, and he's able to move this and punch at me. Now, of course, the street's not going to stop it there, it's going to go through my head. Okay? So, in a wood movement, what I'm going to do, go ahead, it's already there. I've moved my center from where his target was over to this side, but this is going in here. So I've moved my center line, critical center line, off target, because he's shown where I was. I don't even have to worry about it really. But what I did when I intercepted this, I just smoothed this off. I could have intercepted this if I wanted to, but I didn't need to because this was clear. From this, I immediately hit. So it's just a rolling motion. Okay? Now what you don't want to do, let's go right here so you can see my hip. Now you don't have to do anything, I'm just going to show up. And make sure you have my hips down here in the shot. What I don't want to do is come over this side and punch out. Because again, you see how my energy is going this way. And I want my energy into him. What I'm going to do is turn like a screw into him. Now, with the slight turn with my hip out, I have 30% of my weight on this leg and 70% on this leg. My center line has gone from here. That's clear. I'm outside of where my center line target was before. So now he's going to have to chase me. It's upset his timing. But it's in, then I'm going to come up, and like I do with the wood movement, I come up and then throw the energy in. From this, I can come up and throw the energy in. Okay, go ahead and cut it. Let's get, this is a practice mitt. It is a tool. And it's not like a real body, but it gives the target to hit at. But because you're working with a tool, not an actual target on the body, you have to be careful of how you treat this. In other words, know what you're hitting and where you're hitting your target. If I'm hitting his face, this replaces his face. I'm not hitting down here to practice hitting over there. In other words, if I want to hit his face, it's as if he was staying here, and that's where his face is. Instead of his face being back there, his face is up here. He's holding it so he doesn't get smacked. I don't want to have it way over there, where it's over across my center line, because that is as if we're sitting here, and I start my punch from over here, which is not realistic. When we're actually centered on opponent, we're going to be centered. So when I'm playing with this, I have to make sure I'm centered here, because that's where my opponent's head would be. Right? I may have to step out a little bit, where before, because I have a body here, again, I have to see the distances. If I'm not careful, I will practice the wrong measure on where the target is. So when I set this up, I have to imagine that his body is here and how close I'm getting to his body before I do the strike. So these are some of the things you need to consider. Okay? Again, I'm going to be punching 45 degrees, and we have a flat target, so I don't want it flat like this. I want it 45 degrees so I get the practice of hitting something at the right angle. So that's another thing you have to consider when you're setting these up. We're talking about the basic practice. There's a lot of other things you can do in that, but we just want to practice the punches. Now, with the strikes, again, you do a wood movement with the open hand palm, and you practice that against this. Or you can go ahead and do it with the punch. Okay? We don't want to hit this with a flat hand. And we don't want to do one of these where it's straight. You got a nice sound out of that, but it really didn't do too much to it. Okay? That's hardly moved it off. He flinched because of the noise. But he didn't have to take anything in his arm. Okay? That is the flow. And you saw how it bent his arm over. And his body went with it because he's trying to hold that little ridge. That's what I mean by hitting this with this. And we don't want to just hit it and leave it because it's a dead hand. So that's one thing you want to be careful too when you're playing with this. If I hit it correctly, if I left it there, it'd be wrong. Because it's a dead hand, which then he can take advantage of the timing. I want to hit it and come back out. Okay? So what we're doing with these, you can practice coming up and hitting these. In that movement of going through, you want to think of throwing energy through it. Not just hitting this, but think of throwing energy through it. Because when we hit somebody's head, we don't want the energy to stop here. We want it to penetrate to the center of the head. Actually, where the brain is, the stem comes up to the center, and there where the two halves of the brain meet, that's where we want the energy to go. Right? So when we're hitting these, here, we don't shove it through, we roll it through. We want to throw the energy into it. Take the energy up here and throw the energy. Right? With a punch, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come up, but instead of doing a palm attack, we're going to do a fist attack. Again, with this knuckle first, backed up with these. Right? So I come up, it goes, you see how it whacked through it and came back. I didn't just leave it there. Huh? Because I want a live hand. After I punch, I want to be able to use it for something else. If he's blocked it, I want to take it off. In fact, that's one of the things you can practice later on, is you can block this. If you see me moving, you just block my arm off of it. We won't do that today. But that's one of the things you can practice with this. The guy sets up and he goes like this, he telegraphs it. All he has, he can have his hand up here, ready just to knock it off. So he doesn't get a good center punch. Okay. So that gives you practice on not telegraphing. And also gives you practice, do it slow though. Come up here and just block so I can show you. This is where this other hand comes in. I can do practice my other hand. I use a wood movement to clear that punch. So if I'm coming up, I can clear off for the punch. So there's different things you can exercise this on. Okay? But again, what we're trying to do is get enough power behind this. And it's just, you see how short it is. And that. But if that was his head, which is heavier than this, so it's going to take more energy, but it's going to rocket his head. And if I hit points while I'm doing this, put that energy at points, it's going to take them out. Right? So, again, what we're doing is coming up, rolling with a hit, and down here, you see, all I'm doing is turning into this. Now, if I'm thinking him, I'm doing this, that again, I'm not doing it properly. But he's not there, my dummy's over here. So that's important when you visualize these, because you want to get the distancing right against an opponent. And if you practice as if this is an arm out there at the bag, rather than this is your target, see the concept I'm talking about? It's so off sync, and you'll have the wrong measure when you go against a real opponent. Okay? So all we're doing is through and back. Just boom. Again, I'm not pulling this back. My hip is pulling it. I'm just cocking this. And it's very similar to the movement what we do with the earth movement, where we come up, in, and come back. But actually, this is all I'm doing with this, except I'm pulling my hip so it looks like it's going further. But all I'm doing is doing this and popping it. So you can use the wood punch off an earth movement. Boom. Okay? Now, the other thing we can do, the other practice thing you can do, is again practice putting this hand as an offense to clear before we hit. Okay? So I can hit with this, with the wood movement, up, hit, and hit. Okay? Now again, practice to go with the hips and go with the flow. Just up, hit, with this, with the hip. If I just do the arm, I'm just going to flap it. Okay? With the hip, I get a nice solid blow. And again, if I'd done that across here, I'm going to shock that head, and then it's not going to be able to take the hit. Or I could hit that in his chest, and points on there, pull energy down so he can't take it up there. Okay? So I'm just going here, up, here. Again, it's very quick. So I'm coming up and hitting. But this again is if I'm out here, clearing his arm or his body to throw that. So I have to visualize that, what I'm doing. Okay? So here, you see it's very quick because it's right there. It's already going. The hip is throwing it. Boom. and it comes back, I want it to be live. I want to hit and relax. I don't want to boom, boom, and leave him out there. That's total alpha that way, and if he's blocked it, you're in problem. You have big problems. That's the other practice we can do with that. The other thing we can do later on is have another mitt here. Actually, we can have a mitt, or we have a cushion here. We have those knee braces and elbow forearm braces now. So actually put that out there so you can practice going through. You don't want to do that bare though, because it hurts. Yeah. Now, what I want to talk about though, again, so you can see what we're doing. For that particular motion, go ahead and fight stance. Okay. I'm just going to do this so I don't want to bang into him in that, but show you what we're talking about. From here, I just come up and slam this down, like that. You see how simple the turn like this was to get to the outside. I'm not reaching out here, which is going to tug at him. He's going to go at me as I pull back. Okay? It's just here, there. Boom, boom. Okay? I don't have to come all the way down. All I have to do is freeze that. Okay? So I have a nice solid there. When I turn like this with my waist, it's nice and solid because I have this angle again. This strong angle. Once I have that clear, this is already in. Right. I'll take a half a step, or I'll turn more to throw it all the way in. Well, it's very short though. Because what we're doing on this, hands up again, we start out here, we're going to move in on the guy and intercept. Okay? We're not going to try to move back here. Or he's moving in on us. And that closes the distance for us. And we take him. So again, it can be very short. And I can go down with this. Okay? I don't always have to shoot up. That's my main practice. But I can hit down with it. Especially if I'll go off balance in here, like that, and I come down with it. And it's just roll. I'll go first and he goes through. But you see my body has moved, my arm stays there. I'm not pulling my arm back. My arm stays there, my body cocks it, so I throw it in. Okay? Okay, go ahead and cut it.
Recording.
The point I want to make here is that the hand that we're raising up, if we're doing both, they're both wood movements. If we're doing this, this can be a wood movement or it can be a water movement. The water movement can be on the inside and the outside of his arm. It can be either arm. But we'll do this arm first. From here, and I'll do this slow, see what I'm doing though. When I come back through here with this, I'm cutting this up here and intercepting. Again, I'm intercepting 45, so I'm doing a 2-bone block on here. Okay? And when I come down, I can either come down with an attack with this knuckle on here, in good places, if I can test with 10. Okay? Or if I'm just doing this way, I can use this knuckle on large test with 10. So that's the point I can be hitting on these. Okay? So I come up, I come down like that, I get a reaction, get him set, and it's kind of off balance him slightly. If I have him off balance, I can pull this down, and as I come down like this, that thumb is going to go along the meridian here. That's the heart meridian, down to here, and twist it. And that will release this. If I'm on the inside, because my timing's off, I may have wanted to do this, but it ended up here. Well, that's okay. I can do the same thing. I hit in here, but instead of going large intestine 10, I just hit lung 5. But when the extraordinary point's in here, or even down in here, another lung point, or on top, I could be hitting the large intestine meridian on this side. But again, what I'm doing is from here, I'm setting it, and you see how that jerked them. Now I have them off balance, I get just come down here and twist them again. So what that means is, I can be the outside with these, I can be the inside with these. I want to use the hip around just the arm. I don't want to just slam this out. That's arm against arm. He's got big shoulder muscles and that. He's going to win. But if I can use my body against his arm, so I cut out with these, it's the hip. My whole arm, hip against one arm, outmass it. And once I have them set off balance, that's where I can play with it. I don't want to just try playing with it though like this, because that becomes total war. I have to get a reaction first. Again, if he overreacts, well, I just go inside and take him down. Boom. Right? So seen from this side. Okay. Up, down. Up, down. Right? I can clear this way. If I'm hitting. Right? Or I can hit, go up, down, and I decide to clear that side. And then use that one. Then you have two ends. And you want to feel the energies on what you're going to use. I try to think, I won't consciously think I'm going to only do this technique. I'm going to intercept. If I'm on the inside outside, it doesn't matter, because I have a technique that allows me to work it either way. And if I need to transfer it, I can transfer it. Because I work live hands. I don't have just a, oh, I messed up. Huh? So maybe when I took him down here, he blocks with that hand. Huh? So I just take it. I pull. Now I just got a thumb that pulls down, but it's already in. That would be a major move. I didn't even have to grab him just by coming through here. When I did this, just blocking like this. It's pulled it away from him because he's trying to go this way. It's easy for me to do this then. But I'm not going to just use my arm like I did here for the illustration. When I do that, my hip's going to do it. So this is already out as this is coming back. So the timing's there. I beat you. You can't recover from that. Unless you're real good. Okay. Okay, go ahead and talk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. Okay, path set, again, is based on the 5 elements. What we're doing is showing variations of the 5 elements. In the first form, what we're doing in the first set of the full form is triples on the energies using both hands. And later in the first form, we show techniques from the form using those elements. Right. What the clearing the path does is another variation showing how you're using one hand rather than two hands when you're applying energies. And we're showing how to use the intercepts and why we're doing this for clearing, how we're doing the clearing. There are a lot of different variations on what you're doing. So the basic movement, you learn the form of it, then you start learning some application. The wood punch, which we have our seventh thing on that, is basically what the first attack we're doing in this. Because the first movement is the wood movement. We're going through, starting off, wood, earth, water, fire, and metal. And that finishes it. We're doing it in an 18 count. Again, I originally taught you guys rather smoothly, but then you're missing some subtly, so I broke it down in counts. You can learn as a count. You can practice it until you get it down. But you don't do a count later on when you do the form. You just smooth it out, the entire thing. Again, you use your imagination when you're applying it. After you learn the physical form and applications, you start thinking and actually have an opponent to play with. We have clearing the paths exercises to do it with an opponent. That's a lot different. This is when you don't have somebody to play with. But use your imagination. And you first think ahead of time you're doing this. Think about, okay, the guy's going to come up and I'm going to do this and stuff this way. Later on, when you've done it enough, you don't think about what he's doing until you're already into it. And then say, okay, I now intercepted him, and this is how I intercepted him. So the difference is a mind game in that instance. Okay? So the first one, you're pre-thinking about what you're doing. And the second one, which is going to be close to reality, is somebody moves on you, you start your movement, and then you imagine how your hands intersected them, and what you're doing off of that. Okay? So it's a little more difficult, because you have to be very familiar with your movements to be able to free your mind to not pre-think what you're doing until you've done the movement. That's really the level you want to get to. It's like, boom, I'm there, and I hit him, and that's his reaction. So that's what I'm doing because that's his reaction to that. Now, why is my hand there? Because I did this to him, his body's now here. That's what I'm doing there. Huh? There's so many variations, though, you never lose. I have to repeat yourself in what you're doing. You will. I mean, it's kind of, okay. You find yourself going to rush. But if I've done that, okay, what's the next thing that could help? Okay. So, let's go through real quick. I won't do them quick, but I'll go through it quick because I want to talk about the 5 energies. We're going through a wood movement. It's expanding. Right? We don't always have a chance to come out here and clear, and those really attacks, we tried that before. And we're going to be here. Boom. We do our wood intercept, which I could be intercepting coming up, I could be intercepting coming down, I could be intercepting coming up, and do these as hits. I could actually do this as a hit. Movement is energies expanding and down. It's out that way. When we get these movements, you have variations on that one. Okay? So you can come up and do this. And we do this when we suspect somebody has a weapon or they have jewelry that may cut us if we do this. We don't want to get cuts in the palm, or especially don't want to get cuts in the wrist. But we'll take them back here. Okay? The other variation on this is where we're going to trap and we do this. Okay? Now, come here, let's straighten this a little bit. Why we're doing that, when we're coming up with, we'll just set you up so I can show what I'm doing here on this one. When I come up here and I'm coming down for a trap or crossing, notice I'm coming, so this is toward my center. I don't cross over here. That's a very important part on all of these. We want to center these. Okay? We don't want to just cross ourselves. As soon as we cross ourselves, we're weak. But when I do this, then I do that, I've activated this, and see how I turn. I didn't even hit in this case. Bam, that's a hit point. You see, it's that little energy, how it turned him. He's very vulnerable up here now. Okay? The same thing is on this side. Okay? I trap here. You see how I turn that way. So I'm not just doing this, I'm doing this. That's why we do this. Okay? That's 1-5 here. Okay? 1-5. Okay? I did for other parts when I'm doing in here with a hit and a hit. Okay? So I can be hitting these points and hitting this point. Now again, going this way and that way. That's all pointing at energy. Okay? Vibration. When I do this, okay? Hitting here, I'll go for the 3 knockout points. In here. And 2 here and 1 here. Okay? So I'm coming down, has to be in this direction. Not this way, not that way. But I will do this and turn. So this isn't doing this as much as my body's turning. Okay? And that gives the motion I need for that. See, I always use my weights for these to start the energy from here out to here. And I'll be kind of long on these things. Okay, go ahead. Go there. So that's basically your wood movement. Okay? Let's go ahead and talk real quick about the wood punch. That's important too. Come in here. Put this on. The wood punch is we're going to punch instead of flatten like this. Okay? But we're going to come up and do this right up in here. You may not have noticed because I was doing it this way, but from the side when I do a wood movement, it's back this way and up. It's not just here and down. See how it throws me off. But I'm coming up, hit down. This is also, let's see, stop for a second. Down here. So if I intercept under here, I don't want to just go up, I want to go this way. Then hit. So it's this type of motion. If I just go up, he's going to force down actually. He's going to try to go down. So I can take him off that easily. This way. I change the direction of it. Right? So I'm doing it quick. See how easy that pull off. Boom. Okay? Now, the wood punch. Black this off, my very good. Okay? Here. We're coming through here like this. I don't want to come way back here. Okay? I just want to boom. Okay? So the energy's coming up. Hit it in like that. Okay? Again, I'm not using energy here for demonstrations. I don't want to overdo it here. I just want to show how it pops. Okay? But when I'm coming in, because I'm sinking, my body's behind. It's not just the arm going out. My energy is rooting and going through. Okay? Now, what's nice about the wood punch, that's his head, so you know what here, so here. But this is a guard, it's going to be here, and I can stop intercept here. From here, where his head is, okay, I still have power enough to snap his head. Okay? In other words, I don't have to go back here. What's my energy going back this way? I stop it, I punch or something, his guards hit it. Okay? Boom. Boom. Okay? I'm not, in this case where he stopped me, trying to break anything here. I want to hit points. Okay? I can hit him at an angle on that might break his jaw just to hit a certain point. That's not what I'm really trying to do. I'm trying to sink energy into the points to disrupt the mind, not to break bones. Okay? But again, with this stop, if you block me this way, okay? Again, if I go down, he's pressing down. If I can do that, see how you do that one? And from there, because he's trying to go this way, again, can shoot off from there. Okay? So, guys here, okay, the fight's in. Okay? Now let the hand down so you can see this one move in. I'd be using this one too to take this out of the way. So I can clear that one. You see how it is, come up under that, get a reaction, come in, I'm not free to hit them. Okay? So that's what the wood punch is doing. Okay? I can be on top and come back and hit. Okay? Because I get a reaction. Again, if I went here and try to go through right off of that, rubbing, he's going to feel that and resist it. Okay? If I do that, I'm already in. And by coming here, he's surprised and going this way to follow me, and that I just go over. Okay? That again, in reality, I would probably be using this other hand to pull him and hit him. But because he's resisting this hand here, it's easy to pull him this way. So that's again the idea of hit reaction one way, so you get the yang reaction or overreaction, and that leaves a yin side that you can take advantage of. Okay? Okay, the first energy is the wood energy, that's expanding. The second one is the earth, and that's crossing. So when we use it, we start off with the wood movement. Okay? Now we come in, the crossing, to a maniskin, get up and down. The wood we're throwing out there, okay? The earth we're throwing here. Take a point, kidney 1 point, go 45 out. That's where we're going out there with that energy. When we're doing the crossing movement, I don't cross my wrist past my center line. I will cross the hands, but not the wrist. I don't want to do that because I'm weak. I want to do that. Make it strong. Then I pull these out, I can go under, over with these, and then we do the strikes. That's again the earth movement, the cross. The water movement is going to go upward at an angle curve and back down at a curve. And when I throw the energy, kidney 145 back that way, it's going to be back there. The water movement is acceleration up, acceleration down. The curve. Nothing straight. On a curve. Gradations on this. You go that way, you can go this way, or you can go that way. Right? All water movements because you're accelerating. Okay? And it's like water falling, water spurting. Like energy of a fire hose. Be very powerful. The energy that you're using with this one is not straight because you can resist straight. It's curved. When I hit, I don't want to hit somebody's jaw like that. I don't want to hit the center of the jaw anyway. If I do hit it in the center of the jaw, I don't want to hit it in. I want to hit it like that. More likely, when I use this, I can hit it on the side and like that. Hit the stomach 5 points. Okay. So you can wrist straight. You can't resist when I start bending it. I may not take under. I may take on top. Here. Again, if I go straight, it's just going to skid. If I go here, he goes down. Okay. Now, if he blocks that, again, if I go straight, he can resist that. Okay, that's strength against strength. Okay, so if I accelerate with a curve, he can't resist that as well. Okay, see that I hit him? If I hit and he blocks, and I take him back. And I can also use this movement to do our fourth reaction, induce reaction in the turn forward. Okay? So hands on the guard. What I may want to be doing is getting this hand out of the way and balancing them. If I can see it through and pressing this way, okay, which he's going to resist. When you start pushing sometimes you resist it. But now, I can jerk. If I just went through and start jerking, he's going to resist that. Okay? If I do this, he can't resist that as well. So I tell you this, if they see how much, if I just do my arm, I wouldn't use weight. I turn them off. Okay? I can do that against the arm itself, so the shoulder here, I can press against the arm and then run it down. You see how that opens them up? Okay. If I just did this, he's going to fight it. So I press this way first. See he's taking this way. I won't take him straight, I'll take him spiral. When I do it with my weight here, there, arm, weight. You okay? The other thing we're doing with these, I'll show the right side because it's easier for you guys to use it. That was one version, this is the other version. When I'm coming up here, I don't want to go across here, because again, the guy can resist that. Okay? What I want to do is come up here, go up to that gallbladder 20 and rub across here. That releases the neck. If I just go across, he can resist that. If I do this, you see how it bends down. It released it. Okay? The same with the other side. The reason the other variation is this, is it may come up here or there. Yeah, okay. That's good. If I just go across, he can resist that, and he's going to be stronger because my awkward angle on that. Then again, I won't be able to really overpower this on much bigger kids. When I go up like that, I just release that. See how that released? Once I have that release, I just pull back in here. Okay? That's very dangerous. You can't practice that. Okay? Second, this one. When you release that up and you have the neck in it over, you do any hitting, you can't resist that. Because the neck's all awry. It's not solid anymore. Now, if he does resist this for some reason, he's very weak this way. You see how easy, I didn't tap him, I just pressed him. You see how fast he went down. I set up a yang, he yanged over yang it, so I can't not release him. He just weakened himself on this side. Okay, so that's important too. The next one, fire, is firing up and doing concave movements. Now we're going to do this is fire. So fire starts off, again, with the wood movement. And then we come in here, and it's this way. And if I'm doing a single arm, I don't do it center, I turn my waist. So I do it both. It's hiding to it, so I can't turn. And that way, I'll get into these one out. The one, the other side is going to be this way. This has to stay down. I don't hold this like this. I do it like this. If some time, I do it like that. It stays down. So you have to link the two. The form goes this way, out, and then back that way. We're doing counter things again. And I'll cover this in 2 minutes. We already covered these when we did the form. But the big part of this is a grab happens here. If I just try to do this, it's his strength against mine again. Okay? If I do that, I just weaken him, his grip, and I'm fortunate that way. So I've lifted this. He now has this disconnected from his body. So if I take his arm instead of his body, and that's easy to take off. Okay? So we're doing that for grabs. And that works down here as well. I just do it here and then out. So we're doing this. That can be to clear these. And if a guy gets you with both hands, you do that and do this. Another reason for this, I'll repeat it, if a guy's going to choke you or is choking you, okay? If you just go out, in fact, some guys choke, you go like this to fight the guy, and then pull him down to hit him. The problem is, all he has to do is sink his elbows, and you're not going to be able to do that. Okay? So if he's doing that, and I start doing this, he just sinks his elbows like that, and now he's got gravity on his side. I have to be much stronger than him to take his arms off now. He's choking my throat. Okay? On the other hand, if I come up here and do that first, then take it down. So this has to do with the choke. That's also. Okay? Now, real quick, the last one is metal. Metal is descending. Think like an anvil. In this case, what we're doing is crashing down. Anvil, think anvil. Okay? We're again starting out with the wood movement. But here somebody's intercepted our wood movement. They cut down with the wood movement themselves. Okay? So, boom, we're both. What I want to do is force upward to get him to force downward. and turn them off, hit, declare. Back up. Now I'm going to come up and go out here for double wing block. I'm going to clear or hit to the inside and come in here. This again, very similar to what we did with the earth movement. We're coming here, but this time we're going here first and then here. I want this 45. I don't want to cross anything any further than my wrist in the center. For those. And come up, hit, clear this way, or force them to get a reaction back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. We're going to start off with coming up with the wood movement. Let's count 1. Count 2, we're coming back like this. And the wood movement, we come up and back. We're going to go 1, 2. As this one's coming back, this one's going forward. I don't want to go way back here because my energies are coming back that way if I do that. I want this to be able to pop it there. Right. So we're going to just do a wood punch rather than the wood palm attack. The other hand comes out with the wood, then we go out in a poking movement like water, and then take it back this way. So we're doing 2 things at once. Here, here, and hit. Okay. Now if you notice my hip here, when I'm coming with these movements, this is going to my center. My opponent's center, or my opponent's other side, depending on where I point my waist. I don't want to cross this again while I'm doing this. I want it to be this way, or this way into them. So I'm going to back here, I've already cocked this. There's some power to get the hip behind that punch. So it's 1, 2, 3. And this, I can go all the way to here and go through him at 45 off his angle to the side. Okay. So, what we're doing here is, again, I'm going to intercept his attack against me, or I could be attacking him. I don't have to wait for him. Okay? When I come through, I can come through like this. Boom. Okay? If he's going to try to grab me with this hand and hit me with this hand, this again comes up, intercepts, and throws him off. This is cleared from this. Okay? And I hit him. Now, if I have him going up this way, I'll just hit him here. Okay? Or hit him there. This hand goes this way, so I can, if I intercept this hand, I can do that. If I'm doing this hand, I can do that. You notice how my hip is turning. Again, I'm trying to do this. I do this. This is this way. So this hand can go here and here. It can go here and here. It can go here and here. That's how that closes. I want to activate these points so I can bend that and stop his energy. Okay? So I'm not going to be as obvious when you see it. I'm just going to go. I just bend his wrist. Right? You're going to be sorry. The same way this one. When I come up here and come here, I can grab here. Okay? I can pinch in with that and turn him. You see the reaction on that? Okay? Leave your tendon there. Okay? If I can slide it down past, I wrote that. I can do it past that if I miss that, but as I'm closing it, see how that closes down to here. Okay? Now from here, I can't get to this point, but I can get the pericardium point. It's the reaction in. Okay? I do that. I twist it. Pop. Okay? So this movement here can be either side, inside, outside, either one of them, or intercepting it. Okay. This one can intercept and hit. I think we need somebody else. Let you rest a little bit. You want to come up? Pull this also. So, from here, you can just be coming up and we're going to hit me with this. Okay? So it's going bam. Okay? You don't necessarily have to grab me with this. But what I could be doing, that hand, I just come up like this, I've intercepted, instead of intercepting here, I turn my hip, and I'm like that. That's my wood movement. Okay? First, we didn't use this hand again, so you can see what's going on here. You see how easy to turn him because I'm using my waist. He's going to be trying to really sink it into me. I end up way out here, and just a little turn, 2 inches here, 6 inches here. Okay? Now I'm doing that, my intention is to hit with this hand. I'm not thinking, I'm just going to go out, boom, that's the movement of the form. You don't change sets in the middle of the fight. That's why you want fighting forms. You don't want to have to think in the middle of it. The only reason I went this way is because he started hitting me with that, and I turned to it, to face it. Okay? Even if you grab me here, okay, and you can step with your leg, like you step forward to grab, that'd be probably most of the way you do it, you're supposed to grab, right? Okay? So he has this, right? But I can still, if he's hitting me with that, do that. Now I have both hands. Okay? My intention is still to hit him with this. Okay? I have a problem because he's got me here. Right? Let's get the hands forward. When I come through here, boom. Boom. That's me playing. Okay? The same way if he's hitting me with this one, I clear. But now if I hit, all he has to do is sink his elbow, and he's got it blocked. Right? So I come up, boom. Let's just go, boom. And he's coming into it. Okay? So what we're doing with these is I can use this on either arm. Okay? Fight stand forward. I can be coming up here, boom. In this case, I didn't grab them tight to show you I can even slip off. I don't have to have a good tight grab on this, like I did grabbing his tendon. He's sweaty, slippery now. I still intercepted and doing that, pushed it off, and opened that up. Right? Just boom. Right, that's it. Boom. So again, here. Boom. That's running inside of that arm, and outside of that arm. Back in. Okay? If you just come down real hard with this one, boom. Okay? So this movement has a lot of meaning. My punch here can remain close. I may do that if he starts ducking. If he's sensitive enough to feel this, and he starts going backwards or sinking, I just follow him. I don't want to just do this. The other time I'm punching these 45. We're using these 3 knuckles. I don't need to go further than that if I pull the guy in, he's right there. But for some reason when I do this, he's sensitive enough, and he feels me coming in, he can't block me, but he starts ducking. I still want to be able to hit him. So I'm going to rotate and hit him with these 2 knuckles. If I was at a certain point, I may use this point to go down. I use this knuckle to go up. So if he's ducking down, I'm going this way. Turn that. This is bent slightly. So my energies go into it. Okay? So
If I go in here and I do this, and I start doing that, he feels that, starts fading back, that's not going to hit him. Okay? But that will. Okay? I don't have to hit the face necessarily. Again, if he pulls his face too far back, if I do that, I go ahead and punch him in the throat. Okay? I can also punch his chest to get a stop reaction to that, and then come off of that. As I come up, I come here, he starts going back, I hit here, and then here. So I get the energy in to get a reaction to that, and then I can take that half step. I have time now to do it. Because he can't stop defending himself if he's still threatened. He's moved back, that means he's on the defense. Okay? So most of these are here because I'm close enough to hit him. I moved in or he's moved towards me. Close enough, 45. Again, on target, on here, when I hit somebody, I don't hit him straight in. That energy he can take if he's lined up properly. He's a big guy. We got small guys that can take it, but big guys can take it. I want to hit at an angle to go through the center of his brain, where the brain stem goes into the brain and the spinal cord. Right? So when I hit, I don't want to hit this way, I want to hit that way. That way. Okay? That way. This structure is not set up to take 45-degree hits. It's to be able to take stuff this way. Okay? That's why all these have a nice hip turn those to hit 45. Even down here, if I'm going to hit down here, I don't hit it straight. I want to hit into the spine. That goes through the organs, rather than passing through the side of his body. Okay? That's not that one. So when we're coming with these, in the first count, when we're going through these, we just went through 1, 2, 3. The next part is to come down here to here with the elbow. That's how it drops down. That's very similar because what we're doing now is the earth movement. We're doing this type of movement. We've hit here. It's been blocked. We're going to go this way. Okay. Now we're going to take this one out. In the form we're going to do it mainly this way when we practice it. You can also practice it above. You can practice out here. You pull this back, then this back. So when we do this, to here, notice how we're coming back here rather than down here. We're doing the same thing with this version. Here, here. Notice how my waist goes with this. Now I just put my hand out. I've gone this way with my waist, I'm going this way with my waist. I'm going this way with my waist, I'm going this way with my waist. You notice how I'm going back and forth with those. It's very subtle when I do it quickly. That's how I'm pointing it out here. Okay? And you come back up. What's happened with these is I've gone through like here and hit, and he's blocked it. Okay? His energy is going this way to stop me from going that way. I want to continue that way, so I go like this. Downward. Towards me. Okay? And this hand goes through up here, and I've cleared it. Then if he had blocked me the other way, when I did this and he blocked outward, I'm doing this, not across, but towards me. Okay? Because he can fight this. You able to see that? But he can't fight that. See how I'm not going to go way down here. I'm just going to have to clear this to get this in here. I clear this, and I can hit it. Again, because when I go down here, it's easy to pull him this way now. As soon as I do that, he's going to fight that way, and he can't stop me from doing that. So it's fun using my weight. I can, when I have control like that, I can also turn them while I'm doing that. I can use this, triple warmer, or hit, triple warmer, 11, 12. Okay? When he's down, I can finish him off there. When I have him down here, like this, you see how that's opened up here? I can't really hit here because that's going to scrape up. That's when I do this, to hit down in here, like that, going down. Because again, when I go like this, I'm going to be down here. The motion's here. When he blocks me again, here, by doing this, he's going to follow naturally. He can't not do that. Again, we're going to be doing this fast. It's not going to be as slow as we're doing here. If I do it slow, he has a problem with not following it. Because he's trying to protect the center. Right? If I go too far, he just releases the piston. So I can't go way out like this. I have to have that control. I can go on top. So most of them are like here. I can go on top, pull them off, hit. Right? Saying if this was a hand, if I had taken this out and he's blocking it that way. Okay? Again, he's trying to cross that way. So it's hard for him to resist this. Boom. And you know, see, when I did that, I took this off and I twisted him to keep his shoulder bent. I don't have to worry about this side. So it's important for this. And that's why we practice these things. Control, down, control. Here, he blocks the outside. He doesn't want these. Right? Again, I go down this way, he can continue that way, right towards me. Very easy. Right? My hip, he's going to fall into this. I'm using my head instead of just a hand. Boom. Right? So you do the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That time I was a little more subtle on my hip. I move my hip both ways. Look at that when you look at the film. See my head move just a little bit. You don't need to exaggerate these. Right? I don't yet. There you go. It could be hands up in the fight stance. Okay. When I hit at him, he can block this. Okay. I'm going to take it that way. So again, I'm coming this way, but with the hip turn, it takes it that way. And I just go a little bit like this to pull him this way. Right? Y'all saw that was? But he's on the outside. Here, okay, I can do this. Where I'm pulling this back at the same time, rather than doing a 1, 2, 3 type of motion, I'm going to do it together. But I still have the control here to come back. Okay. Now, the problem with doing it that way, it's going to happen real quick because it's a trigger guy. When I do that, he can start hitting me with that. That's what I can do. And that's how we do this. Okay. I don't try to, from here, go here, because I can get hit. If I move this 2 inches here, I move 6 inches here. Okay? So I do this, I'm pulling it in, and going through. So it's real tight. You know how to speed bends that way. It can be, put this hand forward, right hand. We're going up here and I pop him. Okay? Now his pressure is against that. After this comes in here. Pow. You'll see that type of motion. Okay? That's part of this. If I do that, he blocks that hand. Again, I just take this hand up to here. And I just cap both his hands. There for a big punch. That's where our trapping comes in. That's why I clear the pass. Okay? Using both hands to clear a path to his various targets. It's not clear the path, it's clear the paths. Because I do stuff, I don't know how he's reacting to his body and whether don't even that. Maybe you always guys like to bob. Okay? So my angle might be different. Block, block, start ducking. Boom. If I measure this way, it's coming on out. Okay? Guess what? That's, again, on the exercise. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What we're doing with this one is a water movement. And we said just go out. We want this to go ideally on that side of his arm, his shoulder, and pull in toward us. This goes back to, again, a lot of people teach palm locks up here. The problem is that with the timing. If he's going to punch my face and I wait to there, my timing has to be perfect. Or else I get hit or I pass and I still get hit. Okay? So what I do with these is hitting, go out there and then back. By intercepting out here to that side, and I just go toward my center, out to my center, I moved in that 2 inches, this moves it off of my target. And again, pressing them this way, towards my center. So when I do that, and he resists outward, I can take him down easy. If I try to take him down initially, he's going to fight that. So he's fighting that, and I can't clear it. But by doing this, I can take him down easily. So the form, we come up. From here, I go out toward my center, and then down and back in. Now, some of the variations on that. It could be like this other arm here. So I'm coming out here, 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 and here. And see how this arm cuts that arm too. It went like this. I came across that, and I had it goes like that. Right. It's possible that I'm coming up here. Again, we talked about being a water movement. Okay? So I grab this hand. Give me that hand. Here, I do this again. That's my water movement. I'm coming up. I go up here and down. Again, at light, I'm going to take them all the way down with that. Okay? But what I did, I just came up off of this and went up there. If I'm on the inside, here, I hit his shoulder so he can't hit me with that. Okay? I come up here again and back down again. That's variation. Now, this can be serious too, because when I do this, I'll do this slow. Again, I'm not worried about this hand, it's a dead hand. And that's another thing, by the way. This and this can be equivalent. I'm going to grab his hand and punch, and that's when he blocks. Or as soon as I grab that, he punches at me. Okay? That's where this comes in, the water movement. Right? If I come around here, you see how I have his head bent and turn. If I do this with energy, I can break his neck. So you want to be careful on that. Okay? But because I have him off, is turned around. He doesn't have a solid connection here anymore. I can throw energy to that and stab his neck. That's not saying I always will, but it's possible. Right? And again, one of the water techniques. We're coming up, in and down. I mean, the outside and the inside on that. So I can intercept it first with a water movement. And then again, I may do 2 water movements. Because this hand is tied up. The first water movement hit is to get him down. See how I came up and down? Now it's not thread anymore. Now I come up to that. Or I can go to the other side here and go down that way. Doing this. But again, that's easy though, because when you do it, when you hurt somebody, you do this, get their neck in here, as you crash and press against his throat, and snap it up. that's going to twist his head and break his neck. And I don't like doing that too fast on anybody. It's dangerous, especially if your weight going down. Right? So that time I didn't bother this hand. I took it off this hand because I want his hand dead. I didn't want him using his hand. So if he's got me, I left it so I could play with his other hand, and he's not thinking this hand. Okay? If he thought that hand, when I intercepted this one, he started releasing that one to do something. That's when I just take it and go out. Okay? So I want to be aware of what's happening there, but I purposely let that be a dead hand so I can just mess with this one, and I don't have to worry about his other hand. So that's what we're doing with that. That's the variation on it. Okay? Another variation is when I come in, I can be on the inside or outside of this. I go across here and press you out. So I'm going to take your energy, throw them into your chest, and then throw you out. You see how that threw you forward?
Redo.
Okay.
Push harder.
Go over here. Hands up. I'm going to slap you here to get a reaction. Take that energy down to this side and then in like that. Right? So I'm forcing energy down and I'm rooting with that. And that's throwing you back and down forward to this path. Now go ahead and change it. Okay, no problem. Go ahead and stop it for a second. So all we're doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, open, grab, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, that's the 18 count. When we've done the trap here, in this case, if I'm going to hit with this one, when I trap with this, I'm going to take this off, take this hand down off of this one. Right? So, if he's grabbed it here, and he's hit with that one, I take him down, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull this back as I throw that down, since I was clear to do the hit. Okay? So that's again why I'm doing this. But you notice, I'm not going to do this like this, where I'm crossing my body with this. Okay? Again, I'm going to turn my waist, so it's my body and waist and my center going down on this. So that's nice and strong. If I just use my arm, he's stronger than me. Again, I have problems with if I use my waist and sink. I can take his arm off and free it for that. It also cocks this back to the extra punch cock. Okay? See, if I'm just here, knock it off, I got a wood punch that's just basically short, where if I come here, I cock this back to the hip. So it's much stronger. Well, I hope not. I'm trying to be careful. Get you off center. So, the other, what we're doing on these things is it could be go to this side forward, that foot forward. Okay? Find your stance this a little higher. It could be where we're engaged. I could be this side or I could be this side coming in on them. If I'm going to be moving in, coming up here, lock this down, that means he's going to try to fire, but I will probably be quicker with my hit, so he's going to have to block. Okay? If he fires as soon as I come down and I fire, I'm going to have to do a punching block. So I'm not concerned about hitting, I'm concerned about stopping. Okay? But because I'm doing this together, I will probably get my punch off before his is already going to be started. When I come here to do this, it's already coming up. Now he has to block it, which he just did here, like that. Okay? That may be what's going to happen on the street, right? You can't always have a good block. That still stop me from hitting. Boom. Grab, hit. Right? Now, if I was quick enough to get here and he blocked me where he's on the outside, I'm on the inside, right? There's two things I can do. I can turn slightly and then pull down. I don't want to, from here, try to grab like this. It's very weak. I'm going to miss. Okay? So I can get in center and I can pull him down. That's, again, this movement. Okay? But if he's really strong with that, okay, I do this, and he just moved himself inward. I didn't have to grab, I just got my hand out of the way. He went past, I'm coming down. Because I'm thinking, return. I'm thinking, let him clear it and hit. Okay? Now, this hand forward. This hand forward. Okay, so I went this way and did this. Okay? Again, he blocks. Right? I can take him that way easy. Release and hit. Right? If he's shooting, right? He's blocked it. Again, hit. Either hand, either side. I can be on the inside, I can be on the outside. Now doing the outside side, he's a guy that likes to, instead of grab him, he punches. Okay? So, with his hands up, I got that one so I can't punch with it. I go that with block. Right? I just grab it, pop it. Again, if I was on the inside when I did that, grab here, okay, I just turn slightly and do that. Or, if he's really strong, I just clear it, let him do the clearing for me again. So that's what we're doing with this, clear, and hit. Now you notice what I didn't do, and you see some stuff do, is I try to do this. Okay? That's the only way you need to do it, slower. When I do this, using the vantage scan, I'm coming back in. Okay? When I do that, I'm using the vantage scan. I don't do this first and try to circle around. I just get out of the way and come back. It's too slow trying to do this. Okay. This movement we already talked about being a clearing movement. The guy grabs your arm to do that. And you're going to shred that and release his arm. This is also used for hooks. Okay? So if I can't, how does that work? When I do this, you can hook around this as I'm coming in. He wants to hook over my arm is coming in. Okay? That's good. They call that the cross. When I sense that's happening here, I pop this up and like that. That opens this up and throws this to the inside. Right. So the hooking motion, I felt it, I just do that. This way. Okay? And passes. Now if it's got a little quicker, I can still do this and go under like this. And hit. Okay? That's again something I'm not going to think about doing, I'm just going to do it. Because as soon as I do this, and it's really strong, both your hip onto that. See, he can, because he's got gravity to do that, I just duck under like that. So I'm letting him force me down, I'm trying to alpha him. I just again do this with the upward motion, but it's not working, I duck under it. It doesn't give me time to do that. So that's something I try to think about it. Because I'm just going to hit straight, and if I feel it, I come in like that. This can also be used, okay, to hit over into targets. Rather than try to come around, I just shoot it over and in. Okay. That's also a hit. I can also use that to hit the arm. Okay. If he has grabbed both my arms, I just popped it like that. Okay. Again, I have to hit that hard, but it's surprising I hit a point, so this relaxed. Once I hit that, I take it down. Okay? That kind of ram your chins in a little bit. So I got that. So that can be a pop here, it can be a tap. It's not just releasing. Okay? But I could have, I'm going to take this slow. You got both mounted, I can do this first, and then begin like this. Boom. That's another variation of this. This one here can be here, and I'm coming here and down. So that's what we did here. Then I clear it again. Okay? So the motion we're doing here is to get this loose. If I need to, I pull it here and do a hit point with my elbow here. I've already affected meridian by going up under here with this, and I can hit those points. And I use my elbow down, and I can also hit a point up here with the elbow coming down. Like a test. And here you have hit points, touch points that you can do. This other hand here, if you've got a good grip here, this hand can come and hit. I can hit on a hit point here, I can hit up here. You see how I'm pulling this in. I've done this first out this way and then this way. If I just pull towards me, try pulling towards me, you may be strong enough, just drop your elbow and pull like this. Use your wrist to pull. Yeah. So he can pull my arm. If he's stronger than me, it's a matter of who's strongest. Okay? But what I do when I do that, when I go like this,
Could you trap your arm when you're pulling it?
and that's what this other hand is. Because when I have this like this, you see how that bends that? You're not going to be able to trap it too well. Okay? And that's what this one is in here for clearing out. I can hit with those. Okay? Let's switch. You gotta be up.
Yeah, you're too small.
What we're doing on these is, this is a clear for a hit and a block with a grab. Okay? I've taken this arm off, and now I'm working this one. Okay? Usually I want to do something with this one first so his mind's on it. I don't want to start off here and try doing this stuff, because then it can sense what I'm doing. I want to do it when his mind's on something else. Okay? So I'm going to do something like that in here. You see how by going across this way, from here to here toward him, it throws it this way, which makes him weaker. He's strong enough to pull in. He's trying to pull me out here and pull my hand down, so he didn't. Just pull me here, pull back, like that. Down like that. So when I do that, you can't do that because I just messed up your shoulder. Then I pull you this way. So now I get here, and then I'm pulling you that way, it just pulls your shoulder. Okay? So it's hard for you to do the trap. But that's what this hand is for, is to hit if I need to. Okay? That's also, yeah, right?
Yeah. You're pulling in.
I'm pulling this way first. And then I'm doing this. And you see how that goes against that? I got a nice bar here that just takes that off. Okay? Understood? Understood. Okay? Let's try it from this way, just to show the angle of your wrist here. When I do this here, you see how that starts bending now. When I do that, you see how bent it is. You see how that shoulder's over, so I don't have to worry about that arm when I do that. Okay. Grab in. Punch. Boom. Okay. So I can do this. Clear both your arms. I'm doing that, taking that arm out, then taking this down, see how that forces it down, then I come up with the head. Okay. Grabbing me this arm. I can again do this. It's just off like that. But now you can turn on your hip and hit me with that. That's what it's going to do. But I use this one too, because I don't want a chance. This gets you really strong here. When you come in, I get that out, and then do that. And then come up. So this and this are plane motion. Boom, that's a hit. Now I don't have to hit your arm with that. If I got you free here, okay, I do that, do this, do that, guess what, right there. That pulls you into it. So this hand can be hit there, especially if I'm not worried about this, because your guy can't find it with this and pulls you off, your hand's going back, right? So I can hit you before you move forward.
You react to pressure.
Yeah. Because you aren't expecting an angle on that too. See, if we just grab like this, as long as you're trying to pull that, you're trying to pull back, who gets who, right? Who's really strong? You see, who's muscle? Who's got the biggest weight? When I do that, I just threw your waist off, your wrist off, so it's not connected to your waist, you can't use your waist. And I just take it like that. Again, what we're working on is body dynamics to disrupt his balance. We want to misalign his spine, we want to misalign his head, we want to misalign his shoulders, according to this stuff. Now, this, when again, is a hit back in here in this direction, I'll show you on this side. Right? When I'm hitting with this, I want to hit these this way. I want to hit this way. I want to hit this way. Right? How? This hand, though, I can use to support that. Okay? When I take this hand off, this can come up here. As this comes in, I got to cross here, or here and here, or here and here. This is coming in, so that's going out. And this, again, doesn't have to be that far because I'm slamming it into it. So it's double action. Okay? That's what we're doing with this. I can also hit up here in gallbladder. So I hit gallbladder, cross this way if we didn't knock it out. So I don't have to go up. I could be coming down like this, like that as this is coming up. Okay. This comes up and then down. Bam. So I can hit you up and then down. Okay. That again gets you two angles. So it's harder to suckle them. Just slam down. Slamming down at the wrong angle to come down here like this. I need to bend over before I do that. So I'm going to take you up before I take you down. Hit you up. As you're going down, hit you again. So it's a double hit. Now, yes, these are all hand movements we're doing here. Okay, 18 count. We're all doing this. And we're doing balance. Add any feet to this. Because this is an exercise thing, to show you there's all the variations you can do on traps are basically in here, slight variation what we're doing. Okay? I haven't found any traps or theories for traps other than what you can do with these 5 energies in this 18 count. They're all slight variations of them. But they're all basically, that's basically what there is. Okay? From what I found. A lot of stuff can be effective if you add the kicks. Okay? But when you're practicing it, be very careful. Because when you're doing this, you're throwing the body off, you do a slight kick, it throws the balance off, you're compounding. So you can add kicks to these. Alright? When a guy has me grab and I do that, I can also kick him out that way. See how easy that was to do. Well, we don't want to do that when we're practicing. Because when I do that, I throw his body weight over that side. You see how he shifted. Now his weight's on that, that's going to break his leg. So be very careful when you're playing with the kicks with these. Okay? But a lot of these can be done with the kicks. When I just go for a punch, okay? I'm going to just go for a punch. We do the lock. And I took this one out here. Okay? From here to here, I can again kick out here to throw him off before I kick him up here. You see how he's going down into it. So now I kind of get your arms going down by taking your leg out. I can hit you too. And you notice what I did is I used the leg I'm not pulling you down with. Because if I do this and then try to kick you with this, I have to shift my weight. But from here, I'm pulling my energy down to this leg. That frees this leg for the kick. Okay? So that's the key to remember too. Anytime you grab somebody, leave that leg on the ground, this is your leg to kick with. This side, leave it on the ground, kick with this one.